Nisha, The Last of Us TV show. We have just hit episode 2. And there is going to be spoilers ahead, so you might want to turn around if you haven't watched it yet. But
or played it.
Or played it, yeah. So people who have, for us, we've played the games and we're watching the TV show. There's differences, there's changes. There is also the Oblivion remaster, which just soft launched yesterday out of nowhere. We got things to discuss. But hit me first, The Last of Us. I finally get to talk about this.
And we finally get to talk about why it is a retro video game.
Should we start there?
So that's podcast lore. That's PabTC lore that me and you have had this conversation of. Is The Last of Us a retro video game?
What was its origins of conversation? How did it come about?
I'm fairly sure it was during our top 10 video game episodes where you had it in there. And I was like, it's not. I had a bit of I'm ashamed to say, not a gatekeeper, a bit of an ignorant outlook with regards to what is retro.
Ignorant prick. A little old betrayal boomer man robbing the children of their youth.
That's what it was. It was a bit of a dogmatic approach to this is what it is. But
to be fair, it wasn't. To be fair, it wasn't, Nisha. You and everyone else, even I knew I was pushing the boat out. But it's a very interesting topic.
It came out in 2013. It came out on the PlayStation 3. Like, tell me this, is BioShock a retro video game?
100%.
Is there even a question of that? Yeah, that came out on the same console that The Last of Us came out on.
Now, to be fair, the start of the console and the end of the console life cycle.
Yeah.
Can you buy a PS3 anymore? You can't. Can you buy The Last of Us on the PlayStation 3 anymore? Not new, you can't.
Yeah. So I'm fairly comfortable calling it retro. I know it'll piss people off, but I'm quite comfortable with it. So that's kind of the history of we did a top 10 video game episode, and you put The Last of Us on it, and I was horrified.
Top 10 retro video games, yeah.
Yeah. And then it has just become podcast lore ever since then, because that was like during the first few episodes of the podcast, I think, was it season 1? Like, so like about
and now
3-ish
just to
ago.
give it a little bit of juice behind it, let me just give you an example. Let's just say you were a 16-year-old playing, whatever console you're playing, right? Today, in today's modern world. And when The Last of Us came out in your time frame, you were 3. So you tell me, if you're 16 now and you're playing a game and you were 3 when another game came out, I'm pretty sure you're going to say that's retro for you. But again, I also understand people won't think that at all as well.
Yeah. But I think it's a fun topic. I do think it's a fun topic. It is something retro, isn't it retro? Now, why people say something isn't, that kind of thing,
There is, so The Last of Us was my favorite game and series for a very long time. But I do have something negative to talk about it for a second, which I think is starting to rip the piss.
Right.
So let me explain this to you. So Naughty Dog released The Last of Us in 2013. Okay? Yeah. And they released The Last of Us again, remastered for the PS4 in 2014. Okay? Then The Last of Us 2 came out, was in 2019, 20? And then The Last of Us Part 1 Remastered came out. And then they released The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. These are all full price games, by the way. Remastered came out. And now they have released The Last of Us Collection. Part 1 and Part 2 Remastered has just come out. They have re-released this game like as much as Skyrim now in the space of time when there's only 2 games. And it is a little bit insane to me.
Yeah, it is a lot. I saw when they announced the combo remaster thingamajigger, that everyone was like, what the hell is going on? Like, it's getting to be a little bit much now, but they're just milking it, man. It's just a cash cow.
And I must say, the TV show for season 2 so far is kind of excellent.
Yeah, man. I'm really enjoying it. I watched episode 2 last night.
I'm sorry for those who aren't gamers and are experiencing this for the first time, because I actually have a little bit of PTSD from the game, I think, and I'm not even joking. Yeah. Like, when I was walking around the supermarkets like Tesco and Dunnes and I see posters for that show, I get anxious.
Yeah.
Legitimately, I get anxious.
Just knowing what was coming.
Yeah. So to go into full spoiler territories in the video game of part 2, I would say, like, I actually did my first podcast before I had a podcast with my friends talking about this, but
did you?
I did, yeah.
What was the name of that podcast?
They didn't have a name. I never released it. We ended up sitting down and recording for an hour and a half about our experiences of The Last of Us Part 2, and it was my first. But I have the recording still. We might shadow release it somewhere at some point.
Who did you record it with? Richard?
John and Sam.
John and Sam, right, right.
You've met Sam, have you?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Yeah. So
interesting.
But I will say,
I'd like to hear that.
Yeah. And it's our very like instant reactions to all of us finishing the game.
Right. Okay.
Which is cool. But yeah, traumatized. And for those who don't know, spoilers. You play the first Last of Us, and you wait like 7 years for the second game to come out, and you grow up during that time. And you finally get to be reunited with Joel and Ellie, just for Joel to be viscerally and absolutely horrendously murdered in the first 2 hours of the game out of a 35-hour game. Absolute trauma. And it's so effective because it happens at a time you would never expect. And this, and I'm going to do a YouTube video on this today, by the way. I can't wait to talk about it. But,
cool. Nice.
Like the fact that it happens when the player or the viewer for the show least expects it. So, like, I really mean, like, it shocks you and it takes a while to process, because you're like, surely this would happen at a big fight scene or at the end of the show, or he does something crazy to save Ellie. It's like, no, he just gets fucking horrendously tortured and murdered.
Yeah. Which, do you know what I actually just realised? This is like taking something out of a Game of Thrones playbook.
It really is.
And spoilers, obviously we're doing heavy Last of Us spoilers, but a quick Game of Thrones spoiler as well, just in case. But Pedro Pascal's character in Game of Thrones, that was very unexpected as well. I won't say any more just in case, but that was very unexpected as well. Is his name Oblivion or something
in that?
I possibly.
Because I just saw an interview with him
that
recently.
scene where he's fighting the mountain?
I do.
I was like, fucking Jesus. It was he did it twice. Pedro Pascal has done it twice.
He has. He's been viscerally destroyed twice.
But let me ask you, right? So there's the TV show, which I think is brilliant.
And I have a lot to talk about with it as well.
It's done very, very well. And obviously that was such a key moment within the video game and now within the TV show. Which did you find one affected you more than the other?
100%. Yeah, the game was far more intense. The game was horrifying. Like the show was horrifying, but the game, now there's differences which we have to talk about. There's actually quite a lot of differences. I can tell by the reaction that the team got from the game. They tried to make it more understandable in the TV show. There was far more dialogue. Scenes were drawn out a little bit more. But the idea of the second game is that Ellie watches her surrogate father die. She is enraged. She wants to get revenge. And the game spends the second half of the game getting us to try and understand Abby's point of view. So the game does it in a way where we don't really know who Abby is when Joel dies, but you can tell the TV show has already told us who her father was. It was the doctor he killed. Yeah. Like, we know so much more than we did in the game. Do you know? Yeah. So at this time, the game really wants you to be in Ellie's shoes, where I think the TV show wants you to watch Ellie. Do you get me? So like the game is trying to make you as angry as Ellie by being confused, hurt, and not knowing what's going on, where the TV show is letting you into what's happened, already is giving you the point of view of Abby, and it's kind of like you understand why Ellie's angry, but you don't probably feel in her shoes as much.
Which is why I feel like the game was more impactful, because I agree with you with regards to that scene, that I felt more playing the game. But also, I suppose we have to take into consideration that we knew what was coming.
Yes, 100%. 100%. So we can't objectively say for sure that the show was less impactful for someone who watched it for the first time and didn't play the game.
Yeah, true. I'd love to get someone's who hasn't played the game and didn't know. I'd love to get their reaction. I'm sure there's plenty of it online. Like,
yeah, and like that's what I want to do today. So like, just to leave you into a plan, I wanted to make a YouTube video called like, Dear Last of Us TV viewers, I'm sorry. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wanted to do like, because they're experiencing that grief for the first time, do you know? And I wanted to compare.
That's actually a really good idea.
I wanted to compare those two scenes because I think for gamers, we played it in 2013 and we got to play as Joel. And look, if the game's done very well, getting to play the character is generally going to be more an extra layer of immersiveness.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then waiting so long. So like I would say, even objectively, if you take the fact that we played the game over a period of 7 years, where the TV watchers were kind of waiting a year and a half, you know, I think that builds up even more anger and resentment in people for what happened to Joel, which is art imitating life, which is cool, you know. So I think there's that too.
I never thought about that with regards to the wait, the time differential as well. And then you're right, the immersiveness of actually you play the character. You're not just watching. It's not just passive with like TV. So,
and I'd love to give like every credit to the TV show too, because they've added so much. So like the whole Jackson scene where there's not the zombies, the clickers are trying to break in, like that never happened in the game. Like that was so Game of Thrones-esque. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
it was
real medieval protecting, insanely good. Like I was so reminded of Game of Thrones so much watching that show at its peak.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It had a dual thing going on. I think what the show, every time the show adds something, I actually think that's my favorite part of the show. Like the first season was the same with the whole Bill episode, which was super emotional.
Oh yes, that was brilliant actually.
Yeah, like that wasn't in the game at all. And like the differences in the TV show here being the fact that when Joel got killed, he was with Tommy. This time he's with Dina. There was no love scene between Dina and Ellie in the weed place. There was the fact as well that who was Ellie with? Who was her friend, the Asian character?
I can't remember the name.
Oh, that's going to annoy me so much now. But so they're in different pairings. The time is a little bit off. I thought they were going to maybe extend Pedro Pascal's time in the show, but no, they did what they needed to do, which is good. I thought it was going to be an episode 2 cliffhanger, then kick off episode 3 with the scene. You know, I thought you'd at least get 3 episodes out of them, but I thought it was very well done, and obviously makes me want to play the game again now because it does, and the collection's
it's been so long since I've played either of the Last of Us games.
Do you want to know something really interesting? Actually, I had to play it again years ago on Twitch, and I started to have a panic attack coming up to that scene.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It was like I was literally on stream and I was like starting to have a panic attack, and I hadn't had one in ages, and I was like, this is insane how much this is affecting me. Do you know, like the fact that the game actually like shares a little bit of fucking trauma that Ellie goes through, because I was a little bit traumatized when it happened in the game. Do you know what I mean?
That just is a testament to the writing and the people who made that game.
Absolutely.
Because I remember it as well. Like I'm fairly sure I cried at that point. I also cried at the very opening of The Last of Us, the original game. I remember.
Oh, sure. I remember Sarah, that hit me.
That hit me. I was like out of breath. I was so stressed.
That scene is insane. But that's the moment I knew I was playing something. That's because I want to feel. See, there's people who don't want to feel, and it makes them angry and say the game is terrible, I think. But I want to feel bad feelings when I'm playing something. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. Why not? Because it just heightens the whole experience of the game, really, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what art is. Like, it's there to make you feel.
Yeah. And this game does it very well.
It does, yeah. Very, very well.
So tell me this. When was The Last of Us... Didn't that make you buy a PS3, the original game?
It did. So
I remember you saying that.
I was sold from the moment go. So I had a 360, always a 360 head. And I saw the trailers for The Last of Us. Just the trailers. And I just knew this was something I had to experience. I was just...
Yeah.
And even the PS3 game to this day still looks great. Like the original version still looks excellent. Particularly the cutscenes, because they were kind of pre-rendered with the models. They still look fantastic. And the voice acting, like it's the same, like the voice acting that's in the PS5 version is the same as the original. Like they haven't touched that. You know what I mean? It's you know, Ashley Johnson and Troy Baker done such a phenomenal job. And did you notice at the end of the last episode, it was actual Ashley Johnson singing the song at the end?
Was it?
Yeah, do you know, I walk through the valley. Do you know that song?
When the song was playing, I was like, this sounds so familiar. What is it?
So, very interesting. It was in the
dots.
2016 promo video for the game when they first announced it, and it was never in the actual game. I think it was 2016, might have been later, I'm not sure. But anyway, basically, it was Ashley Johnson as Ellie singing it, and Joel walks in and he's like, what are you doing there, kiddo? And everyone was freaking out in the place. You know, it was a reveal video. Like, it's one of those videos that I watch to get goosebumps.
Yeah.
Because the reaction to it is so insane.
Deadly. No, I knew there was something. When I heard the song, I was like, there's something here, but I couldn't connect the dots at all.
Yeah, so that's Ellie from the game.
Deadly. But so the game sold you the system. That's what sold you the PS3.
It did. I love how this is like an interview, actually. This is like you interviewing me about The Last, so it's very interesting.
Yeah. Because look, I love The Last of Us. I think it's incredible, but I know it's one of your all-time favorites. Like, it's a lot more. So I find it interesting, and the fact that I have you in my head anyway as an Xbox person. You're an Xbox guy, and to be converted to PlayStation, I feel like, in that generation anyway, I feel like it takes something special, and I think it's just interesting because I have, like, if I think of you in video games, I think of Gears of War and Halo. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
From like your childhood games anyway. Because I know there's so much to you, and again, it's all Xbox, so it's interesting to know.
Yeah, I think the best way to put it, I think, is like from the ages of like 14 to like 20, which is very formative. It's all Xbox.
Yeah.
I think before it, it's very PS2 and GameCube. Yeah. Kind of the N64.
Yeah.
And then there was PS4 for a good while, and then kind of back to Xbox again. I think that's kind of a fair estimation of it.
Yeah. That's a nice timeline of consoles. And speaking of the PS4, I kind of think, apart from the Super Nintendo, that maybe the PS4 is the best console of all time.
It's you can definitely argue that. I could see it. I think, very interestingly about consoles, that the PlayStation 4 was probably Sony's definitely best console since the PS2. But I like the PS4 and the PS2, I think, are like very hand in hand with, they had it perfect. And I think a lot of people just say this generation in general has been a bit all over the place because, like, let's be honest, if you had a PS4, you played like every good game on the PS4. Like, the PS5 is lovely, but like, what are you playing that's like new?
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, is there an example? I don't know.
The newest game that I'm playing is the Star Wars Fallen Order. Is that what it is?
And you can play that on PlayStation 4 too, right?
I don't think that's the. I don't think so. I don't think that's backwards.
Oh, okay.
I think it's on. I think that's the PS5.
Well, that's fair too, as well. It's like, this is the same for Xbox.
One game, I'm not saying the only game we can think of.
Yeah, but that's also like available on PC and Xbox and all that too. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah.
I think it's a good thing. I'm not overly complaining about it. I think the time of exclusivities is gone. And you know what I realized yesterday, which is an excellent segue? The Oblivion remaster shadow dropped yesterday, and it's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Fucking incredible. Did you know about this?
So, yeah, I saw people talking about it online, and I didn't realize it was like just out of nowhere. When I saw it, I was like, man, I'm out of touch with modern games because I was like, I had no clue this was coming out. I was like, surely this has been in the, like everything, you know, it's in the works, it's built up. I didn't realize. So they just out of nowhere were like, this game, and it's out.
It's fucking incredible, Nisha. You love Oblivion, don't you?
No way.
It's
man, absolutely.
It's still just as quirky and janky, but it's fucking gorgeous. I mean, it's fucking gorgeous. Like, the nighttime has the aurora borealis in the sky. My fucking fire is illuminating the leaves on the trees as I'm walking through the forest and stuff. It is
deadly,
shiveringly gorgeous. But it's still somehow. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it on PS5?
So it is, but this is the point I wanted to bring up. I think this is the era of gaming now, which makes sense. So if you own an Xbox, you can play it on Game Pass day one for free, right? Which is great. So I just downloaded it straight away and played it. I didn't have to pay anything extra that I wasn't already paying for my games. Because Xbox owns Bethesda now. So, that's an Xbox IP. But what I like is it's available everywhere. But if you're an Xbox person, you benefit from the fact you're in the ecosystem by getting to play it on Game Pass and PC. And if you're a PlayStation person, it's not that you don't get to play it. You just have to pay the full price for it. So I think the future of games is going to go that way. Like, you might be rewarded for being part of the ecosystem by being a part of the subscription service and you'll just get to play it. But I think everyone should still get to play the game one way or another, right? I don't think at the end of the day, anyone should be stopped from playing a game based on the system they have. And it's clearly the future. Clearly.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it is. I totally think it is. It's like the console wars are such a dated thing. And competition like that, and I think maybe these companies have realized now that it's better to work together and have everything on everything.
And you make so much more money because, like, the games, games cost too much to make now. And people, we saw people. We talked about the Switch price and how the fact Tons was saying in the Discord, we did live in the golden age of gaming where shit was just cheap, and now it's kind of going back up again. But the reality is, like, of course it's going to go back up. Like, studios are closing down left, right, and center. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's the only way to make it make sense, I think.
It is. It's a strange, that talking about studios closing, it's such a strange thing. I find it baffles me how studios just will release, like, an incredible game that makes loads of money and then, like, right, we're out of here. And I know it's not... I know it's like it's the higher ups' decisions, the money makers, people, the money people's decision, but it's just it kind of blows my mind.
But I suppose it's like it's live service as well. Like, I mean, if you can make a live service game for 20 million and it makes money for the next 10 years, like Fortnite,
true, yeah,
and then you make a game like The Last of Us for fucking 500 million, and it just makes those sales and it stops. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. But it's strange that the Bethesda decided to do this out of nowhere drop, or who officially released it. Is it Bethesda still?
Yeah, it's Todd Howard, man. It's Bethesda. It's all the lads who made Oblivion. So, like,
why did they shadow drop it? Why not build the hype?
Because it's actually far more successful to do that, I think. It actually
it's just a different approach.
It builds so much more FOMO. Like, I was on stream. I was the first person, I literally think, maybe in the streaming world to play Oblivion Remastered, because I had everyone checking the store before, because everyone had a hunch that they were going to do it. So what it was they had a YouTube show talking about it, and then we were like, we're all kind of convinced, and it's like, it's available right now. So I had everyone checking the Xbox store. And it wasn't on there, but Hammy said if you go on your mobile phone, it's actually on the mobile store that you can choose to install it on your console. Right. So I actually, even before they announced the game was out, we had everyone double and triple checking. And Gar was in my stream to confirm this, by the way. So at least on Kick, and then I'm not entirely sure on Twitch, but I have then gigabit internet. So we were downloading it when the show pretty much like was 5 minutes into it. So before they even announced it, we were downloading it. And even by the time other people realized, depending on your internet speeds, they were like behind. So we had I think I had like 3 minutes of me playing Oblivion. We were 100% the first people on Kick to be playing it. I know that much. Cool. So it was just such a funny race.
That's deadly, man. That's the panic of
but that created the panic.
Download now.
But that created the panic in everyone. Like, by shadow dropping it, they needed no marketing. Everyone did the marketing for them. Think about it that way. Yes, they paid nothing for advertising, and everyone else did it for them. It's like they paid 1 million content creators to advertise it for them.
Yeah. That is a very good business practice. Like, knowing that everyone. It's self-advertising,
it's self-flagelating.
That's very, very clever. Self-flagelating, yeah. That is it's a very, very interesting move. What other things have just shadow dropped like that in the past?
It's hard. Like, I don't. There's definitely a few Bethesda have done it before, but in general, I don't know what comes to my mind, but people have done it 100%. But it works best when it's something that's already beloved. Like you can't do it with something new, really. Do you know what I mean? Unless it's unless it's a known IP. Like, let's say they said The Last of Us multiplayer mode is shadow dropping. No, do you know what I mean? Then everyone would run to it because it's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But it needs to be something that's like already known, already existed, remasters. It works really well for.
To get excited about.
Exactly, and then they need to spend no money on marketing, and basically they've saved themselves, 100 million on marketing, and they're just reaping the profits of the game.
Yeah. Well, I'm very interested because Oblivion is one of my all-time favorite games, and I haven't played it in easily 10 plus years.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, it's probably my favorite Elder Scrolls game. Like, it's better than Skyrim in my books.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try it. I don't want to move on from anything until Star Wars is finished.
Yeah.
Like, I'm 20. I looked at it last night. I'm 20 hours into Star Wars. And I kind of just want to finish it now. Because there's a few games that I have waiting, but Oblivion I think might kind of jump the gun there, and I'll just play that next because I just have so many fond memories of playing that. And I played it a lot on the PC, and I know we were kind of chatting about doing a PC episode.
Do you have a disc-based PlayStation 5?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And have you played The Last of Us Part 1 remaster?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I should give it to you, man. You have to play it.
I wonder. Is it on PlayStation Plus?
Hopefully, you would hope so. But because the game shows out, I'm sure they're going to try and make money off it. You never know.
Yeah. And tell me this: what's the latest edition? They have the PS1 or the Last of Us 1 and 2.
So the last
remaster remake dual combo.
Yeah, I don't even know if you can buy that. Like, I just want the fucking tin case for that because I think it looks beautiful. But I don't even think you can buy it in stores. It's just like off Naughty Dog's website or something weird like that.
Oh, right.
But the reality is, like, The Last of Us Part 1 remastered is like a remake. It's not a remaster. It's a complete remake. The game looks insane. If you play that on your new TV, the cutscenes would blow your mind, Nisha. Like, it's made from the ground up, like with a new engine. Do you know what I mean?
Oh.
Graphically, yeah.
I didn't realise that.
No, yeah. Like, it's a PS5 looking game. Like, it's insane. 100% worth playing. The Last of Us 2 remaster isn't a remake from the ground up. It's just like, here's better frame rates. It's just like a next gen patch. Yeah. But The Last of Us 1 remaster is the cutscenes in fidelity mode on an OLED TV is probably the most pristine looking thing. You can see spit coming out of Joel's mouth when he's screaming in it.
Right.
It's insane.
So, like, hyper detail.
Oh, it's outrageous. I think you would literally have your jaw on the floor.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I did not realize that at all. I thought it was just a slightly polished version.
No, this is night and day difference.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna have to, man.
So basically, The Last of Us 2, it's that graphics on the first game.
Right. Mm-hmm. Jesus. But see, I have a bit of when people say, like, if you remember a game from your childhood, like say GoldenEye or something, right? And you remember these incredible realistic graphics. I kind of have that rose tinted glasses looking at The Last of Us. Do you know what I mean?
It's still a beautiful game.
I have it in my head that it was like these glorious what you call it, graphics. So, but I'd be interested to play it. I remember when I was watching was it Emma playing The Last of Us 2 and the God rays? Is that what it's called? Like the sun shining through the trees?
It was the first one.
Were you
there when Emma was playing that?
I was watching.
That is crazy. Dude, you know that's like fucking 7 years ago.
Serious, yeah. Deadly. But just seeing the different the sun, like, shining through the can't even talk. Shining through the trees, stuff like that. Like, I just remember it looking incredible.
Jeez, it was actually 9 years ago. That's fucking scary.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Just time, like, you know.
Oh man. Yeah, it's crazy. But I didn't realize that it was a remake. So that's really after interesting me. Like, again, when the show came out, obviously there's the kind of reinvigorates the desire to play it.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't realize that it was a remake. So
like with your TV and the PS5, if you want, you know what it is? It's a classic showcase. You know, if someone came over to your house and you're like, what's better about the PS5? Just show them a literal cutscene from that game on the PS5, and they'll be like, I get it. I don't think there's a better looking game out there.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And where do you think, will they ever expand on The Last of Us, or is
like a part 3? I think it'd be crazy not to. What I think they'll do is they'll do a prequel where it's Joel and Tommy before the years, that 20 years between when his daughter died and when he finds Ellie, because he was part of the Fireflies and all that stuff. There's a lot of history there to go through, and everyone wants to bring Joel back, and what's the one way we can bring Joel back? But Neil Druckmann has also stated all the time that there is no story without Ellie and Joel. So maybe what I would love to do, instead of playing as Ellie and Abby, maybe we could play as young Joel and then a fast forward in time to modern day Ellie after part 2 of her trying to find Dina again. And, you know, maybe they have parallels in their journey that sync up. Do you know what I mean? That would be cool. Like Joel goes through the same thing, trying to find someone. Ellie's trying to find someone. And we flick back and forth and see how much they've influenced each other. Or Joel's influenced Ellie, realistically, if he's in the past. So I think that would be cool.
Yeah, that's actually a really good shout.
Should I be a game developer?
Yeah. Whatever game you make, I'll play it. And what about the mini game? You know, the was there a game with Ellie and another girl?
Oh, the DLC.
Sorry, DLC.
Mm-hmm. Left Behind, it's called. That's excellent. I actually was going to make a video on that specifically today, because I think it gets forgotten. Yeah. But that's actually part of the remake of part 1 as well, so you can play that all done up too.
Yeah.
That's a prequel, yeah. That's kind of before Ellie meets Joel, just before. And she's with her friend, my God, what's her name? It's going to drive me nuts, and there's a whole Halloween sequence in it. Have you played that, yeah?
I have it in my head. No, I don't think I've played it. I think I might have watched you play it online. I don't know if you streamed it or I watched something.
Probably at some point, yeah. But it would definitely be worth man. Get that part 1. I think you haven't played the first game in forever, right?
Yeah, like easily since not long after it came out.
Yeah. So 10, 11 years you haven't played it. Yeah. So worth a go, I'd say.
It's well warranted at this stage, 100%. But how do you think the TV show is going to do for the full? It's because it's such a shift now, a huge shift now.
I do worry that the cast can't carry it on their own from a TV show point of view. I do worry about that, because I think he was such, like, in the game, I feel like all the characters are quite realized, but in the TV show, it's hard to ignore that Pedro has that so much star power that it's obvious. Where, like, Bella Ramsey, I think, is like, there's sometimes I think she's an excellent Ellie, like, really nails it, and then there's other times I'm like slightly less convinced.
Right.
So, like, I don't know, like, some scenes I'm like, that's perfect, and other scenes I'm like, that felt like not quite right in my head. You know, I get a bit taken out of the scene because I'm like, was that like bad acting, or is that just Ellie? You know, I'm not sure sometimes. I think she's great. I think they're great, actually. So from that point of view, like, hard to know. I kind of wait and see what happens.
It'll be interesting to see how it plays out without Joel there. But yeah, I think Bella Ramsey's great at being Ellie. I think it's quite funny at times. When they were leaving the last episode, she said something about like how long is it going to take to get there or something. She's like, he was like, an hour, and she's like, good, because it's only been 10 seconds and I already can't feel my ass. And I was thinking it's such
an Ellie vibe.
I just thought that was real, like, just real clever, a clever, funny kind of joke. And it's funny to have, like, to go from that kind of lighthearted, witty humour to the extremity of the place being overrun by clickers and that scene.
It was excellent.
Like, yeah, it was, and the like the big huge clicker, the beast thing.
The boomer. Is it the boomer? Yeah. No, I'm thinking of Gears of War. What the hell?
The big huge one who broke down the fence, and then is walking after Tommy.
Yes. Tommy has way more of a role in the show, which makes me think that Tommy is going to help support the cast more in this. Do you know? Because I think he's a good character.
That makes total sense.
Mm-hmm. Like he'll take some of the brunt of Joel being gone, I think.
Yeah, and he's great. I really like.
He's
I don't know the actor's name.
I don't know the actor's name.
I really like him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think he's really cool. Like,
mm-hmm.
And I also quite like the girl, his wife or partner, who was in True Blood. Do you remember her? She was in True Blood.
She was in True Blood. That's so funny. Emma was kept asking me, what is she from? Tommy's partner in The Last of Us. She's from True Blood.
Yeah.
It's so funny. And you know what she noticed as well, which is hilarious because she's next to me now. Did you notice that like 4 horses ended up going to the cabin where Joel died, but only 2 came back? Like, what happened to the other 2 horses?
Oh yeah.
So like basically there was Joel and Dina, and then there was Ellie and her friends. So there's 4 horses end up being parked up there. All the Abbey crew left with no horses. So did they just leave 2 horses strapped, freezing to death outside the house?
Yeah, it's such a waste, isn't it?
It's not even a waste.
Also, why didn't Abby and their group? Why didn't they take the horses?
Yeah, exactly.
Surely that's like vital commodity in this day or in that day and age.
Yeah, 100%. They really phoned in as well. In the game, you get this idea that Abby is very cold and collected about killing Joel. In the game, they do stress they're not going to kill anyone else. Do you know what I mean? But in the show, we really get like... In the game, what happens is Abby kneels down in front of Joel, and when he gets his leg shot off in the game, it's actually hanging off. It's way more violent in the game. It's fucking rancid.
Right, yeah.
And then she goes like, tourniquet his leg, which is such a scary line because, you know, they're going to like... She wants to torture him instead of him bleed out. Yeah. And then she like... sits down and she looks at Joel, like, do you know who I am? And he's like, get whatever fucking rehearsed speech you got over with and just do it. He doesn't leave her speak at all. He just goes straight into saying that. Where in the TV show, she kind of speaks his story and then eventually he says it, you know?
Yeah. That was so in the show, just fucking get it over with or something. I was like, he's such a fucking badass, isn't he? You're saying, like, he's literally staring death in the face and he's like, come on, you motherfucker.
I wish I researched the actors' names more, but the person who's playing Abby and, my God, Laura Bailey, who voiced Abby and got all the death threats and all that, they have such a tough job because they have to try and bring humanity to someone who's inherently hated by the viewer, do you know?
Yeah, it's funny you say that, man, because I was only thinking when that actor took on that role of Abby, surely they would have known what Abby does and that potentially she's
Neil Druckmann
into being an actor that's going to be hated.
Neil Druckmann would have
Game of Thrones, you know?
And that kind of ruined his life a little bit. I was just talking about this, like, he did such a good job at being an actor that people hate him. Like, what are you talking about? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you hate a character, like, they've done their job so well. Like, what's wrong with us? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But I think she's doing a really good job. And again, it's funny because I was like, surely it would have been in her mind that this character is kind of hated for what they do in the story. Mm-hmm. Now, from my perspective, when I played the game, when I got to the end of the game, that was some character arc because I didn't hate her.
Yeah, well, that means you did your job of having enough emotional intelligence to realize that, like, everyone is... Like, if the roles were reversed, which they end up getting reversed, like, Ellie would be way more rootful than Abby is. Abby is actually, like, more... Abby is inherently less rageful than Ellie becomes. Do you know what I mean? Like, like what happens in the game going forward, and I won't say it because... You know, if you're just someone watching a TV show, might as well not get into it yet and we can talk about it later. But she goes down, man.
Hardcore.
Like the worst of humanity vibes, like.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think that your opinion can be flipped so much. Mm-hmm. So fucking much. Which again is a testament to the writers and the makers of that game.
And flipping of opinions is something you suffer with as like a medical condition. So, you know, like it really hits you hard.
What? What do you mean? Me?
Yeah. Like, you know, you're switch between like, I hate Tears of the Kingdom, I love Tears of the Kingdom. Anything.
Yeah, I am a wet paper bag of emotions, Keith, or of
Yeah, I love it.
opinions.
I love it. I love it.
It just crumbles at the
So what makes you?
slightest breeze.
I feel like as a duo, like if you were a customer and I was a seller, would be the worst pair in the world. Do you know what I mean? Because like you'd be like, I don't think I like it. And it's like, sit down over there and let me tell you about the benefits of fucking
Yeah.
stocks. And you'd be like, do you know what? I'll sell my house.
No, I think I'm like the ideal customer for
That's
you.
what I mean, though. Like we're like,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what I mean. Like,
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, but man, I have to say I'm very, very impressed with the TV show so
me too.
far.
Me too. I think the amount of money they put into it is so evident as well. Like the fact that they've recreated an entire Jackson, it reeks of on-set, not CGI bullshit, which I love.
And the cabin, I was quite impressed with the fact that the cabin that they made. Now, how much of that CGI, I don't fucking know, but I just thought that was really cool. Where the in the wood where Abby meets, or Abby and Joel.
Oh yeah, I think that's all fucking more or less like. I mean, I'm sure maybe it's CGI'd into where it is location wise, but pretty sure they fucking built that as a real place. Like,
but I was very impressed with that. The scene where the like horde comes at them, I thought was fucking brilliant.
I'm telling you, man, it's so reminiscent of peak Game of Thrones, but with Last of Us.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of it. You know, the way like that whole Jackson scene of them and them breaking in, that intensity and that like scariness, that was excellent.
Yeah, it's brilliant, man. We'll have to kind of touch base every few episodes on the progress of the Last of Us TV show.
Sure, maybe we'll just, you know what, maybe press any button to continue will turn into a semi-Last of Us review show while we're watching it.
Yeah, and Dragon Ball, Last of Us, Dragon Ball.
We made our own podcast for Daima, so you know you can always check that one out.
Yeah, we could have how could you mix in the last of any button to continue?
Well, the great thing about The Last of Us is Daima, you like realistically, if we wanted to take over the podcast with The Last of Us, we could, because everyone's watching it and everyone's into it. We couldn't with Daima because it's too niche. We had to have a separate area for it. But hypothetically, if we wanted to do 7 episodes of Last of Us, no one would care, you know, because everyone's watching it.
True.
It's the equivalent of me opening Pokemon cards and stream versus Dragon Ball cards. Like, I prefer Dragon Ball cards, but no one cares. Do you know what I mean? But I can open Pokemon all day.
Yeah, that's fair. And I'm definitely going to check out the game, the remaster, because I didn't realize that it was a full remaster. I just took it as kind of re-releasing it a little bit so it'll be interesting to see the difference between the original version and the remaster version. So it's an exciting time to be a The Last of Us fan.
It is, I guess, yeah. And I mean, it was kind of like just being sick of the re-releases that made me kind of go off it, but the show definitely turns you back onto it, you know?
Yeah. I wonder would they ever do a movie, do you think?
I feel like TV
Could you make The Last of Us?
See, I feel like TV is held in a higher regard than movies are at the moment.
Yeah, it's actually...
Because, I mean...
That's actually a very good point. That is a very good point.
Like, you know, and most episodes these days, like I'm watching Black Mirror and the episodes are an hour and a half sometimes, and like, they're movies. Do you know what I mean?
An hour and a half is a film, like, 100% it is. I just had it in my head, I was like, wonder would they ever do... Like, you know, they had kind of teased they were going to make or Game of Thrones into a movie or something because everyone was so disappointed with the ending. Now, I don't particularly see that happening with The Last of Us.
Nah, the TV show is where the money is, to be honest. And like Sopranos ended up changing like the TV industry that way. Do you know, like what was that, 1999? And that's when TV started being held as like, oh my God, we can tell stories as good, if not better than movies. And then, you know, show after show started coming out where like the TV shows were incredible.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's taken a huge step up. I think kind of cinema was kind of up on a pedestal. If do you know, like people like what's his name, like Quentin Tarantino, or was it Quentin Tarantino? I don't know, or Martin Scorsese was like talking about how TV is not great, but now I feel like it's the quality of stuff that's being produced for TV shows is fucking... Now, not that I know any better than fucking Quentin Tarantino or Martin Scorsese, but
I do think...
I just think it's interesting to see how
I don't think it's about the quality of cinema. I do think if we were all, say, as a community, were forced to go watch The Last of Us in the cinema every week, I think that would be a beautiful thing. Like, if we were going to watch those episodes in the cinema and there was a buzz, you know, it's all about that collective watching experience where everyone gasps and goes, oh my God. Like, imagine watching that Joel scene collectively in the cinema with people for the first time and everyone outside talking about it. I think cinema is about a collective experience, which is important to have. But I don't think cinema as an art form is any real higher than the actual TV show itself. I just think it's about seeing something on the big screen is an important human experience. But I don't think, you know, movies are technically higher grade than TV shows these days.
Yeah. No, that's a very good point. Right. Well, how do you feel about the Oblivion? I know we've kind of gone over a lot, but I think it's a good time to just. How many hours? Tell me this. How many hours do you think you're going to put into Oblivion?
60? Easy?
60, yeah.
That's as an old man, easy. I'll probably maybe put in more. But this is like the type of game where, see, the problem with streaming is sometimes I keep getting dragged to different things because whatever's new I kind of have to pay attention to because it's my job. But I was so impressed with how beautiful. And it was crazy because I just did a video on it and I just played it already on Kick.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
And then they just dropped it.
Yeah. You should start resharing that video.
I know. Maybe I'll promote it or something. We'll see.
Yeah. Now
that we just got YouTube partner as well, so we might be able to.
Oh yes.
Get a little 2 for 1.
Congratulations! Your Dragon Ball episode was at like 22,000 views the last time I looked at it.
Yeah. Now that will be an anomaly. We won't get that again in a hurry, but we'll see.
No, I wouldn't say that. No. Because loads of your videos have shot up like that, man.
Yeah, I if anyone hits 1,000, I'm like happy. Do you know what I mean? Like that's my happy spot, and if it goes any more, amazing, and if it doesn't, that's fair enough too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been interesting. It's interesting balancing everything. You know, definitely been putting more work into that side of things, and still trying to keep up with streams. You know.
Well, it's paying off because YouTube is brilliant, man.
But Nisha, thank you for interviewing me because I rambled so much and probably cut you off 9 million times because I'm so excited about both of these things.
It's all good. I'm excited to watch the rest of the show. I'm excited to play the game again. And as I said, it's a wonderful time to be a fan of The Last of Us.
It really is. And can I just say how much I fucking love these microphones?
Yeah.
So
Again,
handy.
I'm interested to see. This is our 3rd episode using our portable mics, so it'll be interesting to see.
But it's just the fact that, like, you know, we're in different locations all the time, and it kind of changes what you talk about too, because you have different environments and inspiration to look around at.
Yeah. And by the next episode, my game room could be set in stone.
Really?
So we'll see. Yeah, it's exciting. But find out next time on.
Go on, you can do it. Give it welly. Oh, is it just
Dragon
over?
Ball TC? That doesn't make sense. Bye.
You ruined it. You ruined it, and I'm leaving.